It is so great to be here, and I am so humbled by this audience right now because I was saying this at my table this morning that here is about 300 people who are here for the same reason, with all roughly the same jobs in all of our different companies, and it's like going to church. You know, we're all there for the same reason. I promise not to proselytize. I'm here to talk about revolutions, right? I am from Wilson Sporting Goods, but I'm not here to talk about Wilson Sporting Goods. I hope you all know Wilson Sporting Goods, and if you don't, that's okay, because I want to talk about desktop publishing, strangely enough. From a show of hands, how many people know that term, right? Okay, so I don't have to go into it too much, but I want to talk to you. I don't have fancy movies and videos and statistics to tell you about our company and how we've made it. I'm here to talk to you about me. This is all about me, people. So you don't have to look at the slides. You don't have to take pictures. In 1985, I attended Michigan State University as a theater major. I was a theater kid, and that's all I wanted to do was be an actor. I wanted to be on the stage, and here I am. So, no, I was so excited to be there, so excited to learn theater, as if that was going to be a good career choice. And my parents, God bless them, let me do it. And I remember being in the dorm and seeing across the hall a guy who had this little beige box. What is that? Like, what do you do with that? And he was like, oh, I write papers. I'm a grad student. I write papers on this. And then I found out that there was a theater major, Dave Champagne, total geek. He had one, and it had a modem. And he had apps like Mac Paint, Mac Draw, Mac Draft. And there was PageMaker. And finally, and so I was like, I need to get one. So in 1987, I bought his computer, because he got a better one. And I started to create on the computer, because that's really what I was learning with theater major, was curiosity. Wow, look what I can make. And I would make the programs for the plays, and I would make the posters and flyers, and they were spectacularly terrible. The Mac had 13 original fonts, and I think I could use every one of them in everything. Chicago, San Francisco, Cairo, it was amazing. I loved it. And so, I mean, it was fitting that I was making circus posters, right? Because after I graduated from Michigan State University with my Bachelor of the Arts degree in theater, I got a scholarship to the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Clown College. That is an actual place. Well, they're closed now, but I went there. And at the time, I was one of only 1,000 people who ever graduated from there in 1989. So, 1989, I'm a trained circus clown, and I'm an actor. I'm going to hit the streets of Chicago with zero marketable skills. It's funny. I guess I thought maybe you could just go and apply for an acting job, maybe. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Maybe I thought you could be a circus clown literally anywhere, but you can't. What did I have? I had my little beige box, my Macintosh 512K Enhanced. It had 512 kilobytes of RAM, people. It's terrible. But people were looking for that kind of thing. So I got a job at Sir Speedy on Halstead in Chicago. And I was doing invitations in PageMaker and business cards. And I learned that there was people who had craft. They learned typography. I was like, you know how to say Benget? You know how to say Pinot? That looked like, I was like, you can find it in the wild. It was very exciting to me that there was somebody who was craft. And what they would do normally was they would take like clipping from a magazine, and somebody would say, I want this font, and she would be able to identify it, and they would send it out to a type house. And it was very arduous, right? I went on to another print shop, and then Michael Myers and Associates was my first advertising agency job. And I was their first digital production artist. And so I had creative directors saying, hey, you can't kern on that thing, and the tracking is all off. And do you know what kiss fit even means? And he was showing me their process of speccing the types, sending it to a type house, bringing it back, not liking it, sending it back, having it come back, giving it to a keyliner to wax and put on a board. And so at that time, I had 1 foot in the past and 1 foot in the future as I was learning the craft of types design, which is why these slides are done completely in Photoshop so that PowerPoint didn't fuck it up. We've all had that, right? So I was like, the staff here has been amazing. Everyone's presentation looks phenomenal. So I was hardly should have been worried about it. But I learned as I went to the Caps Digital at Leo Burnett that the types houses had closed by 1995. All the craftspeople, all the people who learned about the typography had to go find other jobs. And some of them were there at Caps Digital, and some of them were training me to be better at typography. Because at the time, when the Macintosh came out, what did we all know? Anyone could be a designer, even a clown, right? Zero marketable skills. I had a Macintosh. I can be a designer. Well, I was a digital production artist for many years. Hardly a designer, although I am very creative. But that is the thing with the technology that makes things easier, faster, better. The admission price, I guess, is a lot cheaper. And I know that I've been in the service industry now for 35 years, and we have what I like to refer to as the service triangle. You have quality, service, and price. Pick two. So if you want something high quality and low price, well, you're going to have to wait for it. If you want something that's fast and cheap, well, the quality is going to go down. And the one thing we noticed with digital publishing and desktop publishing, where anyone could be a designer, is that good enough became the norm. Hey, look what I can save. I can save all this time. I can save all this money. It's fine, right? It's fine. The people who survived were the people like those typesetters who came to Caps Digital and learned the computer. They had the craft. They started using a new tool, is all. We had keyliners there who were mounting things on boards with overlays and transparencies and everything, taping. We were still doing that up until the late 90s. And those people needed to adapt or lose their job, and some did. It's not wasn't for them. They were craftsmen. They weren't going to learn the computer, some of them. And so they had to find something else. I am seeing the same pattern technology-wise. So that's why I decided to come here and talk about that. Because we see disruptive technologies that happen. And artificial intelligence is a disruptive technology. And for all of us watching, there's been a lot of people who are afraid, just like the art directors and designers at the agencies I was with, they're afraid. And so you will hear things like, oh, it's crap. What the hell's an M dash? You know, right? M dashes, whoa, they're like everywhere. ChatGPT, you know it's crap, right? Because of the M dashes of all things. But there's terrible, terrible things happening with AI, right? You can make people with 6 fingers and 4 feet, and with generative AI, you can make spectacularly bad design decisions, but it's a tool. It's a tool. You can make circus posters as a aspiring actor and become a digital typographer. It is a pathway. And the kids nowadays, they know AI better than we do. And AI is not just coming for one industry, though. It's coming for every industry everywhere. It's a tool, though. It's a tool. It's not a strategy. You don't have to have an AI strategy. It's a tool, but you need to learn it because it is taking people's jobs. It is taking, but it's not the jobs you would expect, really. Interestingly enough, Emily Foster told me, oh, I just saw something from Squarespace. David Lee, the chief, I think he's creative director, anyway, of Squarespace. And he was like, as computers take over the medial task, human craft will be the new luxury. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm putting that in my presentation, right? He said, white-collar workers and knowledge-based workers will be the first to be automated away because it's hard to automate a plumber. And so so what I've been doing with Wilson, I'll bring that basketball back in here somewhere, is I have been investing in AI, and I've been telling my retouchers, hey, if something helps you retouch, try it out. You need a subscription to something, try it. Fail spectacularly. Make your circus poster, and learn. Because one thing that artificial intelligence has really done for us is help us to fail faster. And that's important. Failure is how we grow and we learn. And so maybe you're making 6 fingers on a person. Not a Princess Bride reference for anybody, but maybe you start to learn how it can help you read your emails or help you to write. We have invested in a personal AI. That's the name of the company, actually, that we did, and making product experts, because it's really easy to take a large language model and make it into a small language model that only speaks Louisville Slugger bats, only speaks NBA basketballs or NFL footballs, and write product description copy, something innocuous like that. You know our products? Write it. Because I found out the young product managers were using ChatGPT. I offered them Thread Creative, right? To write product description copy. I budgeted for it, and they're using ChatGPT because, That was not a millennial joke or anything. I was just like, that's the attitude. Faster, cheaper, So I wanted to just throw out, there's a breakout. If you're interested in AI, there's John Roberts from the Truth Collective is going to be speaking on AI in one of the breakouts. Maybe that's your initiation. Don't be afraid of AI, because I have up here things that are irreplaceable and possibles. I hope there's not a human in the loop editor as a title, but that's kind of what we're hoping on, because this presentation was 80% done with AI. Those chairs don't exist. That David in the beginning screen does not exist. That's an AI version of me. I never sat in that chair. I never wore that outfit. I never smiled that smile, right? The stage lights, not real, AI. The titles, I used AI to help me write this presentation. That 20% was my craft. The typography, the layout, the prompting was me. Now I have my LinkedIn, because no one gives out business cards anymore. So please feel free to scan this. I am so pleased that you were here and you listened to me tell my story of how a clown, an actor, became a digital production artist, all the way to the director of creative operations and technology at one of the best sporting companies, manufacturers in the world. Thank you.